Okay, so in the last video, I set up my margins for this document and I wanted to redo it. And now I went ahead and placed just my background images. And I wanted to let you know that um, while I was doing this, I noticed that my Photoshop document, the text was not lined up. Now this whole thing is an image that's been placed from Photoshop. It's none of the text exists in InDesign. So if I want to edit it, I have to go back to Photoshop and change it and then update the link. And if I open up my links panel, whoops, there it is. You can see the 3 images that I've used so far in my entire document are linked here. And the shortcut to go there and fix it is actually to right click the document. And there's all these options, or control click, whatever. If you have a Mac, it's control click. If you have a PC, you just right click with your mouse. And then where is it? Edit original. And because these are all Adobe programs, InDesign is Adobe and Photoshop is Adobe, it'll go directly to the Photoshop document, which is really awesome. And now what I can do is on this layer that's off, I already drew some guides because I wanted to show you. I want it to line up with Alaska, Experience Alaska down here. And then, so what I'm going to do is just move it over so it fits perfectly. And also I realized that this document does not look centered in, let's see, this doesn't look centered in the whole document, but that's because I have a bleed on one side and not on the other. Since the fold is going to be on this side, it doesn't need the bleed, but it needs the bleed on this side, which will be the trim edge. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, to save this change, I just go File, Save, and then I can close Photoshop, and then I can go back to my InDesign document, and it automatically moved it over for me. It automatically updated the link. But if it didn't update it, you can always click Update Link in the links panel. But that's how easy it is to go from go and update or make a change to a linked Photoshop document. So I just wanted to show you guys that, since it was something that just kind of I needed to do. And then also make sure that all your bleed images are extended to the bleed line. And then another thing I want to show you here. Okay, so I placed this background image, and now I'm going to go to my old trifold document that it was messed up. I have missing links again because all those little question marks are because I changed the names of some of these images because they were so confusing. It was called image 2781, and so I actually named it like this one I named for Mountain Goat. I named it Goat 1, and this one Goat 2 instead of like image blah 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 blah. So now there's missing links. But I can always fix that. I'm not going to bother to relink these ones since I'm going to scrap this. But what I do want to do is make a copy of all of these text frames so that I don't have to retype all of them. I'm just going to go and select each text frame. And it's actually a combination of 2 different text frames. These ones are grouped together, so they have that. I just click once and it selects both, but this one was ungrouped for whatever reason. And so you can see there's text frame 1 and text frame 2 if I zoom up really close. But anyway, I'm just going to copy them. So edit, copy, and then I'm going to paste them into my other document just to save a little time. And then I'm going to go File, or Edit, Paste in Place, so that when they get pasted, they're kind of in the vicinity of where I want them to be. And then I'm going to go move them up with my arrow keys. And as you can see, they're not lining up perfectly in my margins. I actually want to make an adjustment to my margins, and you can always do that retroactively. My margins, I want to have them kind of fit exactly where the frames are, so I'm going to go back and change them. It's never something that's set in stone. Go to layout because it has to do with layout. and then margins and columns, and I'm just make sure you can do enable layout adjustments so you can, and then preview mode so you can watch what happens as you adjust things. And let's see, for the margins are columns that I want to adjust. I think it's, well, it's actually the gutter that I want to adjust. Let's see. Yeah, it's the gutter. I want to make it, let's see, I'll make it 1 inch because the margins are actually 0.5, and so I want it to be evenly spaced. So I'm going to make it exactly, the gutter is going to be exactly double. So now everything will be evenly spaced. And then say okay. And they all fit except for these ones for whatever reason. I guess these ones were wider or something. That's strange. So I'm just going to bump those in. That's exactly why I'm doing it this way, so that everything matches. Everything's aligned perfectly. And now I'm very happy with this. So I'm going to go Control S or save, file save. And I want to show you something else. I want to show you object styles and their usefulness. I wanted to show you was how to create an object style and why you would do it. First of all, why would you create an object style? Well, what I decided was, now that I understand how to use effects, because when I made this I didn't, I'm going to show you, I'm going to add some, and I'm going to ungroup this because I just want to add the effect to this, not the top frame but the bottom frame. Let's see, not this one but this one. So I'll start with this one actually. Okay, so I want to add some corner options to the bottom, and the way that we had learned already was corner, go object and then corner options, and then change the bottom. Let's see, I want to do the bottom. Let's see, inverse rounded. There we go. It's starting to look good. Inverse rounded, and then I also wanted to add some effects. Where is the effects object? Let's see, corner effects. Okay, effects, and I wanted to add a drop shadow just to separate it from the background a little bit. And now, let's see, also I wanted to change the inset spacing a little bit. No, I think the inset spacing is good. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I'll just leave it in the default, I think. Let's see, maybe lower it a little bit to 0.6 so it's not super obvious. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. And now, instead of going to each one of my frames that already exist, I'm going to make an object style out of this and then apply it, just like how we did with paragraph styles and character styles, apply it to all the rest of my boxes, my text frames. So I'm going to do it, let's see, by going to object styles, which is in the same little grouping as the character styles and paragraph styles. But if you don't have it, go up to Window, Styles, and then choose Object Styles. Now, it comes with 3 non-basic, basic graphics and basic text, but I'm going to create a new one with the current one that I just edited selected. If I go New, Object Style 1, and double click, can name it, I'm going to name it Text Frame for, let's see, text frame, yeah, I'll just leave it that. Text frame for game text frame. Okay, and then you can see that the drop shadow that I applied is already there. And then if you look at there's a lot of options. So there's the general, okay, no, text frame general options. You can see the inset spacing that I've already applied, the 1.3, but I can change that from here. But I like the way that it is, so I'm going to leave that. And then I can also change, there's text wrap options, I don't need that. I don't want to stroke. The fill, I think you can see it's already filled with my black, my copy of black, which is actually this tan color that I created. And from scratch, I sampled that color with the eyedropper tool from the background somewhere, just so that it could be consistent and work together. So, but anyway, I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to add. But I'm just gonna name it. So now what I can do is hit OK and then ungroup these. I have to ungroup them. So I'm gonna select them all and then go to Object, Group, Ungroup. Okay, now what I can do is go to each one of the bottom text frames and hit text frame game, and it applies the styles just like that. So easy. Text frame game. That's why you want to set up an object style, so you don't have to do all those steps again. And then also, if I ever wanted to change something, for example, if I wanted to add a stroke to it, like a black stroke, I can do that pretty easily. Actually, it might look good with a black stroke. Let's see, 1 point or 0.5 maybe. Let's see what it looks like. And do preview so we can take a look at it. Actually looks really good. I think I'm gonna leave that. But that's the great thing about it, is that you can always edit them and they're all gonna change uniformly. Now what I'm gonna do is place some images and create another object style for my images. Let's see.